Movie review number 1446 is Vertigo. Vertigo is a 1958 movie directed by Alfred Hitchcock, who also directed movies like The Birds, Psycho, North by Northwest, and Rear Window. So this movie has Universal Pictures and Paramount Pictures, and I saw this movie on September 14th, 2025 at Columbia Square Cinema 7 in Lebanon, Ohio. So, this movie is about an ex-police officer who suffers from an intense fear of heights, accompanied by Vertigo, who is hired to prevent an old friend's wife from committing suicide. But all is not as it seems. So basically, James Stewart portrays a former San Francisco police detective who has retired after an incident in the line of duty that has caused him to develop an extreme fear of heights, accompanied by vertigo. He is then hired as a private investigator to report on the strange behavior of an acquaintance's wife, as he believes that she might commit suicide. However, he soon he soon follows the woman, and let's just say the two of them have chemistry, believe it or not. And then something happens to the woman, and John Ferguson um doesn't really know what to do. But then something strange happens, and it involves another woman. I don't want to get too much into spoiler mode, but it was pretty shocking to see what had happened from the first woman to the second woman, and how John Ferguson is trying to grasp with all of this, as he does have an extreme fear of heights, accompanied by vertigo, but he's also trying to save both women from apparent doom. That sounds right. So this movie has James Stewart as John Scotty Ferguson. Kim Novak portrays Judy Barton, but she also portrays Madeline Esther. Tom Helmore portrays Galvin Esther. Barbara Bell Geddes portrays Marjorie O'Midge Wood. Henry Jones portrays a coroner. Raymond Barry portrays Scotty's doctor. Ellen Corby portrays the manager of the Mid-Kidrit Hotel. Constantine Sharonay portrays a bookstore owner. Pop Redabelle. Lee Patrick portrays a car owner. And Alfred Hitchcock makes his customary cameo appearance in this film as well. Pretty neat. So I've heard that Vertigo is considered one of Alfred Hitchcock's greatest masterpieces. And this movie also it kind of has a haunting perspective on the director's own predictions and hangups, and is widely considered to be one of his masterworks. Now, I've heard of The Birds, I've heard of Rear Window, and Psycho, of course, but Vertigo I haven't really heard too much about before seeing the movie. Alfred Hitchcock really knows how to do movies. Now, I wouldn't really say this movie is full on horror, it's just more of a thriller film. As a detective who is hired to prevent someone from dying, but ends up having attractions toward her, and let's just say he's not sure what to do when something happens to the first woman. But then the second woman comes into the picture, and basically, okay, maybe I shouldn't really draw too much because I might spoil it a little bit. All I'm going to say is that the second woman might remind John of the first woman a little bit, maybe a little more than that, but that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, this was pretty good in my opinion. Now, I will say that in the beginning, it does we do see how John does get his fear of heights, which causes him to retire. And then, when he gets hired to be a private investigator for somebody, he basically has his eyes on this one woman. And then, in the second part of the movie, he has eyes on another woman. Like, what will happen? But there was a connection between the two women that John eventually realizes, which I won't say, but it might shock you a little bit when you do see the second woman. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. I definitely recommend it. So that's my movie review of Vertigo, Preaching Truth in this movie review. Alright, goodbye.